Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Doc.
Good afternoon.
Please, how are we doing today?
We're
We
doing
are
well.
doing fine, Doc.
Some of us are
Good.
facing serious light out.
Sorry about that. Okay, so this one you need 5 minutes rest, right? And it's already 3:22.
No,
Okay, so let me start so
let's
that
continue.
I'll
Let's continue.
okay, so that I'll close you early. And this is another topic that we want to have a look at. We want to discuss, and it is so dear to my heart. Anytime I'm to meet students to discuss on this topic, I take it as someone who has been given a platform or a pulpit to preach, looking at the current situations in our time. And so I don't joke with this topic at all. And you all bear witness, don't you? You do, because we've come to um, observe and even hear what is going on, especially on our social media platform. And that is why earlier last week I mentioned that if we have IT students and we do not include African studies or some of the soft courses for us to touch on the hearts of the people, then the people that we educate will end up become a threat to the society. And that is what we are witnessing. In schools, look at what the students are doing outside the school when students people have acquired higher degrees. Look at what they do when you give them the platform on radio, on national television. Look at their utterances. Look at how they mess up. If you give them the opportunity to lead their own people, look at the outcome when you have, called them back to give an account. And so I will keep on saying that if we educate people with the skills, we give them the skills, we give them the knowledge, and we are not able to shape their behavior, their character, those people will end up they become a threat to the society. And so, one of the courses that will help us, or the subject that we want to touch on this afternoon, is African moral values. We want to look at it from African perspective. The reason being that charity begins at home. So today, the key word or key words that we are taking home is um, education without character, certificates, higher degrees without character. Such people become threats to the society. It is deep. You can think about it, and we can have a lot of examples to give when you want to explain these simple words that I've just mentioned. So here we want to look at African moral values, and I said from our own perspective. So what do we want to achieve? At the end of this discussion, students should be able to explain the concept of African moral values from a culturally grounded African perspective, because we have a unique way of doing that. Yes. Students should be able to identify and explain the basis of African moral values. We are here. We did not just land. We are coming from somewhere. And so we want to take it um from the past. How were they doing it? Why are we here? Is it all well with us? When you talk about values, when you talk about our morals, what beholds for us in the future or tomorrow when we have become adults or aged? If we are not able to do it well, if we are not able to groom the present generation, if we are not able to teach them their values and their morals, because of what? Because we are in the fourth industrial revolution, because of AI, because of AR, because of IT, and all the other resources. If we compromise our values today, then let's take it from me. Tomorrow we will become aged and we will suffer the consequences. And that is where we will be sitting either at the gate or in the house. You'll be at the house, and then your own children will come and introduce themselves to you that they want to marry. though they are from the same bloodline. Why? Because they found themselves in another era where technology is being displayed and they have seen this on social media, they've watched this on movies and it is happening. And so they want to also do it. It will become a reality. We don't want that. And so if today, the question is, if today we can pinpoint that all is not well, if you look at the behavior of the people, I'm not talking about only children, I'm talking about even the adults, then there is the need for us to, address this and address it now. And the very place that we do this is at home, the family level. So the family system is failing, and then the institutions are also failing, especially educational institutions. The mandate that we have to educate people, to shape them, not only giving them skills and knowledge, but then we are not able to, shape their character. I think we are all failing, and this is the time we need to set up. Next or last but one objective is we should be able to discuss the moral trend today. I think that's what I'm already doing, the moral trend today. And then the last one, we want to look at or discuss the importance we can achieve as a result of, helping people to recognize and take it serious about their values or of their own values. So these are the 4 objectives we want to achieve this afternoon. And I've already started, right? I told you it's dear to my heart. The moral code of a society deals with ideas of what is right and good and what is wrong and bad. Jechi put it this way. He says moral values are those forms or patterns of conduct that are considered most worthwhile, wealthy, and thus cherished by a society. What are the already we had a look at one of the elements. Hey, who is this? Prince Afo. Prince, you are acting here. Probably you are not aware. You are designing some things here. Prince Afo, okay, kindly check. Okay. Prince, do check for us. All right. So, from our previous discussion, we mentioned some of the elements, right? We mentioned norms, and we said they are the principles that guide people's behavior. And so I said we do that in an informal settings. You don't have to be in an educational center or any place to learn this. Before you even send your child to school, she knows how to, say no or say yes. Even that kid, that toddler knows what is right and what is wrong, except that they don't know much. But then by the time you all go to school, especially higher education institutions like this, where we have parents even here grooming their own children, we know what is right and what is wrong. But Jeti is saying that the behaviors, forms of patterns or conduct, one's behavior that we all cherish and we all, give an applause is what we call the moral values. The moral values of the various African societies are different in the sense that we have diverse cultures, and that is why it is different. But we share a lot of them in common. So if you disrespect in another country, like you are in Nigeria and you show disrespect to an elderly person or even a peer, the same way if you come to Ghana is the same thing. If you even travel outside the continent, is the same thing. But some of them are also different. For instance, incest. In some societies, they do not accept that uh, brothers or sisters, people from the same bloodline, will get connected or they will relate sexually. But in some societies, even here in Ghana, some people do, to the extent that an uncle can give his nephew to a sister's, daughter to get married. Others also believe that if I marry from a family and the partner dies, if the woman dies, then the family, if they know that the man is very good, okay, they can decide to give a younger sister in marriage. So that's why we are saying that the values of the various African societies are different because of the diverse nature of our culture, but most of the things we share them in common. Morality is a set of rules. They are just like the norms with an intention to guide the conduct of the people in our society. And so in doing this, we take time to do that. We intentionally, strategically do that. Grooming people to accept what is right and then to deny what is wrong. It doesn't take an individual to do that. It doesn't take only the parents, the biological parents to do that. In African setup, it takes both the biological, not only both, but biological parents, other extended family members, the community one finds himself, as well as the nation. We need everyone. That's why in time past, if an individual is misbehaving, especially a child, and someone is just in the neighborhood, the person doesn't even stay there, live there. But then once the person sees that these children are misbehaving, that adult can correct them and then drag them to where is your house? You point at your house, he will drag you to your house and report you to whoever is in the house. And in the presence of that person, they will still punish you for you to know that it is a collective thing. And so we also do it, I said we do it at the right time. We don't wait for an individual to grow, to become an adult before we shape that person's behavior. We do that right at the right stage, like from 0 to age 6, as the psychologist will say that that's the critical moment to, observe your child and then to groom him or her. So we also do that. And today we will look at all those. How do we go delve deep into it? How do we do it? We use stories, we use proverbs, we assign them certain tasks so that we will be able to, imbibe in them values or inculcate in them certain values that are cherished and accepted by the members in that society. And what has the importance? Why do people care so much about what someone's behavior? The person is not your child, but others are interested. Others have interest in that. Why? Why? Because here we say that moral values in Africa is an ethic of responsibility. It is everyone's responsibility. Every individual must partake or take action for us to achieve that social goal. We see it as a social goal. So in Africa, moral values are not only principles of behavior that we only outline or we tell people, do this, don't do that, you ought to do this, but we act accordingly. And
What
we
about this
see,
one?
oh,
No.
hello,
Hmm? It has gone bad.
any
So where are we
question?
going? I
Ibrahim Majida, please mute yourself for us, okay? Senior, mute yourself. Hey, so instead of you to pay attention and listen to the lectures, you are doing something elsewhere. That's online for you. Some may be cooking, others may be watching their football match and doing, but they are shown. It's shown here that they are on. Oh, please kindly take time and then be part. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was stressing on the fact that moral values in Africa is seen as an ethic of what? Responsibility. And with this, we are saying that it is seen as a goal, a societal goal. And if something is a goal, something is a target, we work assiduously, effortlessly to achieve that goal. So when I started the class, I have outlined my objectives. And per the discussions that follow, it means I need to achieve those objectives before we leave here. In the same manner, when you talk about morals, Africans see it as a societal goal and they act. It takes each and every individual to act on it to achieve that goal. So Families, it starts from the family level, okay? Because when as we've gathered here, we are coming from our individual, homes. So every family sees to, ensure that members in the family adhere to the right cause. What is the right cause? The values, good values, and avoid those ones that are unacceptable. And so if we have gathered and we have, let me see, how many we are about 93. If we are 93 and we are all coming from our individual homes, and every household is making sure that the members in that household is being taught to do what is right and is being cautioned and they are punished when they go wrong, and we all have that conscience, okay? We have it at the back of our mind that, oh, these behaviors are wrong, these behaviors are right. And so when we go out, we want to act on it. We do what is right. What will happen? When we have gathered, then there will be peace, there will be harmony. Such that if it is a classroom that we've met and one forgets his gadget, like your laptop or your mobile phone, you forget it, you come back and you still find it. You leave it there the next week, you forgot it, you come back next week and it will still be idle, it will still be there for you. Because all of us coming from individual homes, we've been taught that taking someone's item, an item that is not yours, is a form of theft. And we agree and we do that. Not only that, we also help others to do what is right. So we don't just close our eyes and then people are misbehaving and you say, oh, me, I'm minding my business. I don't care. I'm me, the No, when it comes to morality in African society, it is not about who do fiasem. Because if you don't help others, if you don't help us to achieve the goal, not only the one who is into that act, dubious act, evil act, it is not only that person and the family who will suffer from the outcome of that person's act, but all of us. We will suffer in one way or the other. And that is why we see it as a societal goal. Let me give a typical example. Someone we are working with. We know this guy, this person, no guy. Okay, it can be a lady because a man now they are becoming more dangerous than some of the men. Okay.
Right.
So you know this person or this individual is, stealing from the company. And you say, oh, you've seen it. This one is not hearsay. Okay, I've heard about it. You have seen it. He's doing it. She's doing it. And you say, oh, me, I'm minding my business. I don't care. If that person is caught, that's his own business. Senior, you will bear the consequences. If the person goes on and on and on and on at a point where the company says that, oh, okay, so we no longer even have, the company is going down, we are not making profit. And so at a point, they start by saying, okay, so we can't pay you per the agreement or the contract salary that we give to you, we can't pay you. Things are not working for us as a company. Or let's say people are not even diligent. All those are, virtues that if people lack those kind of things. Others are stealing, people are also not diligent, they don't come to work on time, they come to work and they work anyhow, like a lackadaisical attitude, no one is supervising them, and we see it, and we keep quiet, and we say we are minding our business. I got to a point where the company will even collapse. If it collapses, what will happen? We all go home and we suffer the consequences. Or someone who has been given a contract to construct a road, and because of corruption, pay 5% here. I'm the one who gave you the information that this contract, the minister will be in the office. I'm the one who is helping. And so you get the contract, I take my percentage. The one minister himself, chains of people taking their percentages. And then at the end of the day, if you were given 10,000, and you've paid about 3,000 out of that. The person goes on to attempt it or do the work, and the person will do it anyhow. Because the person also, wants to pocket some huge part, in fact, huge amount of it. So if it's left with, let's say, 7,000, if care is not taken, he's going to pocket 5,000 and use 2,000. And he will do menial work for us. How are we going to pay for it? Those of us who have no idea of what is going on, who was given the contract, and we plow that road, what will happen is someone, it can be a family member who is, going to give birth and the road is bad, and so the traffic is jammed on that road, or it has rained and the road is so poor that commuting from that angle to the other angle or to a hospital becomes, someone can even lose his or her life as a result of that poor road being constructed. And so we can't keep quiet. We can't keep quiet and say that we are minding our businesses as we are doing in our days. It wasn't like that. It's not like your person, okay? Like that's why in our society, if you especially if you're a single man and you even bring in, everybody is watching you. Because we know that one's behavior, if it is a bad behavior, it can have what? A negative impact on the others. Hence, we see it as a societal goal, and for that goal to be achieved, we want each and every individual to take action. Kindly note down your questions. I will give you the chance to ask all questions. Thank you very much, so that I'll be able to develop my point. But I hope you can hear me clearly. If that is the problem, then let me know quickly.
Please, you are
Oh,
loud and clear.
very good. All right. So, individuals, what must we do? It starts from the family level. Okay. So, parents ought to see it as their responsibility that one day you are going to give an account to your creator. The children that God has blessed you with, if you don't groom them well, remember, they become a problem not to the family, but they become a problem to the society. The one who has not been taught well, and the person ends up misbehaving, taking people's items, will go on and graduate to become an armed robber. And not only the people within that society, in his or her society, who will suffer the consequences, but others. There will be insecurity and so on and so forth. So it starts from the family level. Families, we do our best, not only the nuclear family, extended family, not only the family, but then the entire community. We play our role to ensure that people adhere to the right course. Hence, moral value is seen as an ethic of responsibility, and it is a target that every society wants to achieve. African moral values have human and humanistic basis, yes. Because it's a social, we see it as a social goal. Individual put in they put in much effort to do that. To the extent that people even become emotional when it comes to that, right? So if one is not doing what is right, or one, that's what is wrong, we all frown. Individuals, we don't, applaud it. But come to think of it, in our time when people are doing wrong, especially when they portray such behaviors on social media, and that is where you see people coming in to give them applause, thumb up. The person is half naked, and she has put her picture or video, and people are saying nice. I mean, are we deceiving them? People are insulting elders in the name of what? Politics. And because we belong, we are affiliated to that group, we are backing them. Okay? Yes, we want to call the wrong right. Because of what? Favors we want, positions we want. And so if the young ones are also listening, and then knowing, especially those who are now, you know, absorbing whatever is going on, end up doing the same thing. Because of what? Because of politics. Elders insulting an elderly person, insulting because of politics. And in political, settings, they call it propaganda. Utimu say the thing is red, but the person is vividly saying it is white. And tropita. And others who belong to that group are clapping and they saying, yeah, 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 yeah. We can't do that. It is our ethic of responsibility. And as Africans, we normally say that African moral values reflect in the way we act as individuals, as a group. And so it is rooted in what we call the Ubuntu. I am because we are. This emphasizes what? Interconnectedness and community. Okay, it is a collective responsibility, but it takes every individual to act for us to achieve that. So community welfare is prioritized over individual interest. That is in time past. But in our days, individual's interest, and individual's welfare is prioritized over the community welfare. In time past, when they imbibe values or they are teaching people, training people, that is not what they want you to achieve. They want you to know that community welfare is prioritized over individual welfare or individual interest. So that because in our time we have turned it upside down, that's why people will say that, oh, it is my right. So it is my right. If I have the urge, I'm a man and I want to sleep with another man, it is my right. You don't have any right to tell me what to do. No, this is a society. We are a group of people. We have our culture. We are together. Okay? And so we have our norms and we have our values. And we all want to achieve that so that at the end we live in harmony, we live at peace with one another. So that is it. In African societies, individuals feel responsible towards others. And this is a process of all socialization. To feel responsible towards others, it takes what? A process of socializing with others. So you care for one another, someone's well-being, as you prioritize it, like I've said. So if someone is in trouble, you want to come in and help. We don't even sometimes wait for the person to be in trouble to help. Once you realize that this person is not doing things right, you want to bring the person to the right, track, or you want to call the person and advise him or her, especially if you are an adult and you see that that's young man. So we mentor people. We also help others, especially I said that it all starts from the family. So the well-being of the people, we help one another, a friend, relative, those we live with in our society, we try to help them. People are free to also ask for help or support from others. And so through that socialization, we are able to achieve this, goal. Moral value is an ethic of responsibility rather than an ethic of individual rights, and it is inculcated right from onset, which I've already mentioned. Good and bad morals. African cultures place a high value on good character. Okay, so there is an African saying that good character is a person's God, and to possess virtue is better than gold. Now it has turned upside down. People will rather cherish gold than what? Good character. Okay, but this is very deep. In time past, some people, especially families that have been able to, make names. You mention the family and you realize that they are decent people, they are responsible, integrity, top notch. Okay? Honesty, they are there. In fact, they act on it, they work. They will tell you, so if once you were a child and you join that family, you see the elders acting the same manner. Okay, they are truthful, they do things right, they are honest people because the one they came to, meet, that elderly person has told them that in this family, you don't bring shame to us. For us, we cherish good character than gold. And if such people are able to abide and do likewise, what happens is that at the end of the day, or in the near future, their good character will earn them good because of the good name that they have earned. So if two people are seeking for a job, and one mentions that, oh, I'm the great granddaughter of Nelson Mandela, and then another person mentions the name Wampa Nonye, who has made a bad name. Let me be very cautious.
Idi Amin.
Ooh,
Idi Amin.
India, me,
Ekufuado.
for instance. And then the other shows I'm saying, oh, okay, so I'm also the great grandson of India me. Good name. Oh. And you think these two people, India means great grandson has the degree. In fact, he has even up to the PhD level. He has the experience and so on and so forth. But this one has only masters. And the experience is not even 5 years. Let's say this one has 5 years and Mandela's, great granddaughter, 2 years. Or
You should have used Nanado.
let me be honest with you, they will give it to the Nelson Mandela's daughter. For you see, in our days, companies, people are afraid to hire people to involve themselves with other people because of what? The integrity is at stake, honesty and truthfulness, these values. People don't have them. And so if people are even hiring people, they want to dig to their roots, they go to their social media handles. That's why we need to be very careful what we put or what we post out there. They will fish out, go to your social media handles and look at the posts that you've made, put there, videos that you've shared and your utterances and all those things before they bring you on board. And that is where the good character counts. Probably the A plus or first class students. Things that, oh, I have the degree, I'm a first class student, but the values are not there. Pompous, disrespectful, know it all. And so that by the time the person enters that, interview room, they are looking, you know what they are looking at? One person, and a gentleman told me, this is a Bank of Ghana where he's one of the panels and they hire people. He say, look, Doc, when you meet your student, please stress on it. We are not there to look at degrees or certificates. Oh. That is one thing. What we are looking at is the attitude. 60% of the person's attitude. And then the rest, 15 for knowledge, 25 for skills. But this is the person who thinks that he's a first class student. And so the attitude is nil. They won't hire you because there are some places they need people with certain, character to work with. Even investing your money, I will try to invest my money and I went to my LinkedIn and I realized that the one who was in charge of my investment has gone to my visited my LinkedIn platform and LinkedIn will inform you who has, looked at your profile. So when I met the gentleman, I said, now you what's wrong with you? I'm coming to invest and you want to dig to know who I am. He said, Madam, yes, we know that. Today you are coming to put your money there, but tomorrow probably you want to also take money from us, take something from us, and we want to know who you are first before we involve ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are parents here, we ought to teach our children. If we are adults here and we are not doing things right, we ought to do it right. If we are here, we ought to even help others because it is our ethic of responsibility. At the end of the day, there will be peace, there will be harmony, and we all enjoy. So good character is indeed a person's God, and to possess virtue is better than gold. An action, I'm on my third bullet point, an action, a habit, or a pattern of behavior is considered good only if it promotes human and social well-being. Is that so? By contrast, that which is negative to the well-being of humanity, listen carefully, well-being of humanity and society is considered as evil or bad behaviors, and thus are to be avoided. So it is not about your right, what you are doing because you want to, let's say the person is greedy, selfish, he wants it for himself. No, it is your action. People's action should exceed their individual well-being. You should look at the bigger picture. If I'm doing the same, this person is doing the same, this person acts thinking about others, this person acts thinking about others, what will happen? There will be peace, there will be harmony. We will enjoy living together as people. We will not have too much complaints, pointing fingers at our leaders. For me, okay, leadership is another topic we will look at. The grassroots, they are even dangerous than the one who has been positioned as a leader. The sort of things people are doing at their various workplaces, but at the end of the day, the leader takes the responsibility. So if things, things don't go on well, then it's the leader. And then these same people who rather put that leader into that position will be lambasting and insulting and saying all kinds of things. So please, anytime people want to act, take an action, it should be that you are promoting not only your individual well-being, but you are promoting other people's well-being. You can't say that, okay, you have the rubbish and then you've seen that it's about to rain, so you just go and dump it in the gutter. Your well-being, you've been able to dispose it. And so you've cleaned your house and you dispose it at the expense of who? It rains and it goes there to choke gutters, and then the flood will come back. Probably you will not be affected, but others will be affected. And their properties, everything that they have, and you think you will live to enjoy life. That action alone has cost someone's life because it rains and if there's a flood, and some people even lose their lives as a result of that. Probably it's someone who did not do what is right, or someone who is in that office and is supposed to make sure that those are not recommended. You don't give that portion of land, but that person has taken bribe and has allowed another person to go and build at the path where the rain is supposed to pass. And at the end of the day, it affects us. So that's why you say it's individual responsibility. It's our responsibility, and therefore we can't keep quiet. Ubuntu, I am because we are. Doesn't mean we should support the wrongdoing, but then we will support the right cause. And so when people are not doing it right, we, bring the attention to that. Good moral virtues are love. It conquers all. Humility, fairness. And in our society, we don't only imbibe in them by just saying, how do you imbibe it in them? Inculcate these values in people. I said we do it at the right time. So you act on these things. So parents show love, okay, to their kids, to others. Unlike people show love to their own peer, their own group. Okay, so if you are from that, they go a long way to even teach their children. To some people, they are so mean because of probably their experience. Okay, they've had a terrible experience with another group. Let me use the word tribe. And so another tribe. And so they hate that tribe to the extent that even training their children, they are rather inculcating or imbibing in them hatred for a particular group. Why? Because the person had a relationship with another person from another tribe and he was terribly disappointed. Carrying it as a load. Bitter. And so training their own children, then they caution them. These people are bad. Please. We shouldn't do that. Okay, so we teach them to love, we teach them to be humble, but you don't only say it. Children will only act on what they see, what they observe. So they are looking at you, they are watching you. Mommy disrespect daddy, daddy disrespect mommy. But here's the case, I'm being taught, and they are telling me to show respect to others. They get confused. They say we should respect elders. And these are the elders who are given platform and then on radio, on television, just a matter to discuss. And if it has to do with politics, don't go there. Insulting themselves. And these people are watching, they are listening. Then the next day you tell them. That's why most people troop to churches, right? And pastors are, their thing, do the right thing. But from the church, right from the premises, they forget about the whole thing because it is not in them. The person is now an adult. You are teaching him or her to. He knows it already. He doesn't want to do it. It has not been imbibed. What has been imbibed? That is, what you have is what you give, right? So if I ask you for 50 cedis right now and you have it, that's what you give to me. If you don't have it, you can't give it. So people will only show love if they have love. And how are they going to have it? When they have been loved, they have been trained to love. So they are also able to love. When they have been trained to be humble, they are also humble. When they have been trained to be fair, okay? Integrity, honesty, patience, kindness, gratitude. All these values are, we are losing the touch of all these things. Kindness. Someone needed just a little push, a little support, but there was none. And so the person turns out to be something else. And then let me go and cheat, let me go and steal, and by stealing, the person is now in jail, in prison. I'm a member of a ministry where we visit prison. In our case, we don't only go and then we look at the prison premises. We get the opportunity to go in there and we have a fellowship with the inmates. And you see their yard. Some are washing, they are moving around. And in fact, you will even cry. Though if you are out there, yes, you wish that if people wrong, they should be punished. That's fine. But then going in and to see, especially the young ones, young men, it's so terrible. Why would we wait for people to go into that state? Families, what are we doing? Brothers, what are we doing? Sisters, siblings, mothers, fathers. Why would we wait till people get to that position? I look at them and you can see that they are under 25. Oh, as for those people, 20, some are aged, old man who needed to be taken care of. And it's so terrible. The question is, what led them into that state? Someone gave birth to them. Did that person, perform his responsibility as a parent? Or let me give birth. When the child grows, he will come and look for me. Oh, she will come and look for me. Some people still carry that kind of idea. Oh, I don't care. Leave her. Or especially when the marriage is broken, then the children are in trouble. So we show kindness to others so that they don't end up in different states. And then come to think of kindness, now people are also no longer able to show kindness because of what? Ingratitude. Gratitude is one of the virtues that we also teach our people, our children. So in teaching children to be patient, to be kind, sometimes you have it, but the child is asking for it and you say, be patient. You want to test that child, especially when you have seen that as for that your child, patience, that child doesn't, you have to train him at that point in time, not because the child is crying and then I need it and then you give it to because you don't want the child to cry. No, you are not teaching that child patience. So we don't only say, learn to be patient, but we act and then we help them to do the same. And so the kindness to we act. So you give the child something, say, share it with your siblings. Give some to this person. Or you yourself, you ask the child to give it back to you, give you some. You want to teach the child, okay, how to be kind to others. And then gratitude. Once you've given it to the child, once your child does something or any other individual does something, learn to say thank you. We look at children and we say, oh, as for them, they are children, but they are the ones we need to teach them these things. So you giving your child something, you gave that child a task to perform. Tell your child thank you. You ask your child to go and bring something, learn to say thank you. I say sorry, saying thank you or sorry is above us. Some people feel so pompous if their relationship will break because of sorry. And in fact, I can tell you that some marriages have broken because one needed to say sorry. But it was so difficult, as if saying sorry, it's like you taking his BMW from him or her. But the problem is, those people have not been taught. So if you find it difficult doing certain things, that gives you the chance to teach others. So showing the child how to show gratitude, you say thank you. When you are sorry, you say sorry. And so when the child gives something back to you and the person doesn't say thank you, you say, hey, what do you say? You say thank you, mommy, or thank you, daddy, or thank you, uncle. Someone gives the child, and in your presence, you ask, did you say thank you? Say, so you are teaching. And you think this is easy. If you are not there, how do you teach that child these things? That is where the problem is. If you are not around. So if we say we should spend time so that we'll be able to imbibe in them these values, it doesn't mean that we should be around just like we are around. Okay, today the daddy didn't go out. Mommy is at home. We are all at home. But everybody is doing his own thing on our gadgets. Daddy is on his gadget watching whatever. Mommy is doing her own thing. The child has been given a gadget. We can't teach them. Here, this is where we assign them certain, tasks. And then through that, we are able to, inculcate these virtues. So gratitude, we are lacking this in our society to the extent that adults and most people who we respect so much, they don't even know how to show gratitude. People will invite you to their engagement, wedding, or sometimes funeral, and they don't, it's not they forget to. They find it, they don't see the need to say thank you. A couple invited me to their wedding. I didn't go empty-handed. Then, nothing. Numerous, of course, to invite, and then the invitation on flying on the social media, or my WhatsApp, I attended, squeezed my time, me that I teach on weekends. And then the person is say thank you. Okay, fine. Probably the person doesn't know the essence of gratitude. Then the wife gave birth, and now they want to perform the naming ceremony. Hey, invitation started flying on my WhatsApp. Say, hey, gentlemen, when into me, I will tell you point blank. Come on. Yes, that's how we describe such people in our society. You are not civilized. You are not courteous. This is courtesy. Hey, you are not courteous. Okay, so if I use the English word like, oh, courtesy, come on, you are not courteous. But I say, when in TM, say more, yeah. Yes, people who are not courteous, they will go extend. You have no shame. How can you be, it's like you are only using people. Where is your essence of gratitude? Where are these values? Someone, takes his time out of busy schedule and so on and so forth, and you are, come on. Then I taught him, I needed to educate him, right? But I didn't attend, not because I was bitter, but I wanted to teach him a lesson. So I told him, me, as for that one, that's because we are each other's keepers, right? It is my ethic of responsibility. If I attend your ceremony, even ladies, people you respect so much, some of them you only keep quiet and say, this person, I respected her or I respected him. I never knew that he isn't courteous. That's how they will describe you. So next time you try, you knocking on the people's door to seek for help, they will not help you. That's the facts. Then hospitality. Try to teach them how to be hospitable. So we ourselves ought to be hospitable, how we treat others, okay, not people from who are affiliated to us, but we show that kind of hospitality to others. People have been positioned, they are rendering services, they are being paid, but oh, you get to their place and or their offices and the way they will treat you. Bankers, tellers, the way they will look at you when they have checked and they've seen your bank account and they see that, hey, there's huge amount, then they try to be nice. Say, hey, you are now nice because of what? Because you saw the amount in my account. You can't do that. Hospitable. Others will teach their children you should be hospitable, and they are only hospitable to those who are affiliated to them. Others, they are hostile to others. If all of us are doing it, okay, so you walk to a place and the person receives you nice. How does it feel? Someone walks to you and receive the person nicely. How does it feel? Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Self-discipline, this one, yes. I always say that in our time, people ought to discipline their eyes. Stop sharing video. Oh, can the host make me a co-host? Because I do that in order to stop people sharing videos, because sometimes they may not know that they are naked, but they've shown themselves on the online, online activity. It can happen. Please, can you make me a co-host? Host, Center for, what name do they? ICD. Who is the host now? David,
Madam
class
Big
rep is the host and is the co-host. Senior, change, make me a host so that I can, make those settings. Other than that, people, we will end up watching people doing certain things. They may not be aware because it is online and they are at home. Thank you. All right, so all these virtues, all these are very important, and we ought to act and then help others. For the self-discipline, people will be in danger if they don't discipline themselves, if we don't help others to discipline themselves, especially our children and even adults. Adults who don't discipline themselves, if they are, in their relationship, they end up in serious, problem because the person is not disciplined. Every lady he sees, hey, any quack, crack, crack, crack. So we ought to discipline our body parts, especially our minds, our eyes, what we hear. Huh. Isn't everything that you want to watch, it pops up. You try watching it and it lured you into different thing altogether. Okay, so we discipline our children, not only discipline as you lashing them when they go wrong, but then even what we eat in our days, okay, discipline in eating. If you don't discipline your child, what to eat and the time to eat, and as well as the adults. If you don't do it, your health will be at stake in our days. It's not everything that we eat, and at the end of the day, because there are dangers, health dangers out there. I learned last week or last 2 weeks when the Minister for Health shared that about 80% of Ghanaians have kidney issues. This is so alarming. And I think it's as a result of what? Others, because we are Ghanaians, some people will end up saying, oh, witches and wizards. This one is not about any witch or wizard. Please, about what we are consuming. We need to be careful. We need to discipline ourselves. It's not everything that you want to eat. It comes with discipline. Not every time. People have big bellies. 8 o'clock, as late as 8 p.m., you are eating heavy food and so on and so forth, not eating the rice, veggies, and then fruit. So for the discipline, as for that one, I can even, talk about it, and it will take all of our time. So discipline, yes, we discipline our children when they go wrong. Not only that, but then we also discipline them to what? Observe time, time conscious. That is what we are lacking, Africans. Then we call it, Ghana time. So if the event will start at 8, then the event will start at 10 a.m. I'm say Ghana time. It will start at 12. We've made it Ghana time, and so it has become, we can't do that to the extent that people walk to their workplaces late, but then they go and sign, they came early because of what? soberness, generosity, forgiveness, contentment. In fact, all these are very important. And if we are Christians, you read your Bible, Galatians chapter 5, verse 20, you go in 21, 22, the fruit of the Spirit. These things are there. So this one is not African studies. This is about us. You read your Quran, I don't know the verse, the chapter and the verse, but it is there because every religion, talks about holy and sacred life. And if, in fact, if we have these virtues, it means it will shape people's character because the moral principles will result in strong institutions and structures that will uphold our nation. So the poor leadership, this, blah, 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 all those going on. It's as a result of not, adhering to these. If people lack these things, okay. If people are imbibed, we inculcate these in people, I can assure you, it will result in strong institutions. What are the institutions? We have the family institution, economic institution, political institution, religious institution, but the basic one is the family. And so if in the family, we start by, doing the right thing, being responsible, inculcating, imbibing these virtues in people, everyone walks out of the house, go to that institution, we call it, and then we are doing the right thing, and the nation will develop. Because there's the one, in fact, is very deep. Time will not permit me to stress on this. What is considered as bad virtue include backbiting, selfishness, lying, stealing, adultery, rape, incest, murder, suicide, envy, wickedness, and much more. But ladies and gentlemen, whatever we do, our karma will by all means visit us. It's just like we sow, we invest. So if you are investing, like you have a bank account and then you put money in there, at the end of the year, you go and cash it out. Okay? It's the same thing. Whatever we do, the outcome, there will be an outcome. And the outcome is where people don't think about it before they act. Sometimes the outcome can be death. Sometimes the outcome can be what? Disease. Sometimes the outcome can be, in fact, being in prison and so on and so forth. Why have some people acquired so much wealth? They live in mansions. They have luxurious cars, but they can't eat anything. They go around dressed nicely, but at a point, they have to take their medicine. They don't eat, doctors are forbidding them. You don't eat salt, don't eat sugar, don't eat this, don't eat that. They can afford everything, but they can't eat everything. The question is why? So if some people are so selfish, greedy, lying, if you are lying, whatever we are doing, you should take it as what? An investment, and we will reap it. Our karma will visit us. But interesting enough, those of us in Ghana, especially Ghanaians, because statistics show that about 92% point something are religious Christians, and the rest are either Muslims or so we are basically religious. And so based on that, we deceive ourselves, thinking that even stealing money, taking that corrupt money, all you need is to go to church. You've already been given a position, an elderly a position, elder, so and so, and people respect you. But in our closet, we know what we do, what is going on, and we go and give God that corrupt money. He's a final judge. Oh. He's watching over us, watching us. And then we, as if we've been given the license, especially as Christians, we think we are under the grace. And so the grace has given us the license to do wrong, to sin more and more. That is totally wrong. The grace is there that if you even sin, not deliberately, But we deliberately do it and we go there. Oh, God is faithful and just to forgive us our sins. So on Sundays, majority, we go to church. Right from church, we go back to do the same thing we are doing. Corrupting index statistics will come out. Ghana, you are so and so here. I mean, and you think about it and it doesn't tally. Religious people, but they are so, and you ask if the preachers are failing, if families are failing, if institutions are failing. And I would say the basic institutions is the family. So the family has failed us. And the institutions, educational institutions are as well. Do I say we have failed or we are in the process of failing? Whatever it is, there's a failure. We ought to, act now for all of us to enjoy the peace and the harmony. So these same educational institutions will come up, another good psychologist will come up and tell you, now they are talking about emotional intelligence, right? Okay, so I see another hand up. Let me finish this one small and then I will give you the chance to ask your question before I will move on. I hope you understand. Thank you. So you see, if we are teaching our children what we want to do, what we ought to do, is to prepare, not to prepare the road for them, but we should prepare our children for the road. Okay? Prepare them for the road and not prepare the road for them, as we are doing now. What we are experiencing, the rottenness and all that we are experiencing in our days, parents of today, we have failed. And I think most of them will say, my cousin told me, I know I failed as a parent. My son is like this because of me. And she explained that because of what she went through, and that is what most of the parents are doing. Oh, because of what I went through, I don't want my children to go through that. But please, that doesn't give us the room to prepare the road for them. Let's, prepare them for the road. Prepare them to be content, persevere, so that when their parents are not there, they will be able to, move on. Now, psychologists are preaching about artificial, what we call emotional intelligence. If you don't have it, you need it. Where you work, you need it. In your relationship, you need it everywhere. Not only are they talking about, it's not only the emotional intelligence. Earlier on, we were so mindful, and educational institutions were mindful of what? Building people's intelligence, what we call the IQ. Oh, my child, he's 100%, but the character, nil. So now, it is not only about IQ, intelligence, quotient. It's also about emotional quotient, the one we call emotional intelligence. It's also about what? Social quotient. It's also about adversity quotient. Let me briefly explain them. So the intelligence quotient is the measure when you are able to train people and you are able to measure their level of what? Comprehension, their knowledge, their understanding. Okay, so people need the IQ to solve maths, memorize things, and recall lessons. That's fine. But then the emotional quotient is also very important, and parents ought to help their children. Educational institutions ought to do that, achieve that. So the emotional quotient is where you have trained people. How do you train them? You imbibe in them these virtues that I've mentioned here. And at the end of the day, you are able to measure their ability to maintain peace with others. They are able to keep time. They are able to be responsible. Now, responsibility has become a challenge, serious challenge. Irresponsible parenting, irresponsible mother, irresponsible father, children not being responsible and parents are crying. Some parents not being responsible and but when you imbibe in these virtues, self-discipline, humility, and so on and so, giving them the task to be diligent and you check on it, then you develop their emotional, quotient. And that is where you are able to measure their ability to maintain peace with others, keep to time, be responsible, be honest, they respect boundaries. and they are humble or genuine and considerate. Considerate. Not being so much empathy, no empathy, wickedness. They are considerate. They forgive when others have even offended them. Another important thing that parents ought to teach their children is also, the psychologists will call it the social quotient. You imbibe virtues in people to the extent that when at the end of the day you want to measure them, you will be able to measure their ability to build a network of friends and maintain it over a long period. So building network, building relationships, so that if the person is in a is married, in that marriage relationship, things are not going on, the person is still content, the person will still persevere, the person will say no, because it's like things are not working today, I will not leave my partner, we ought to stick together. Now, when there is a small challenge, run away. The other person or the person's behavior, no, we don't, it's as if the partner is on a different track, I'm on a different track. Instead of us to work things together, we want marriage breakdown, and it has consequences. Affecting children involved, affecting society, and so forth. And the other one, which most people lack, and parents are even lack, and to the extent that they are not even able to teach their children in the adversity quotient. And this is where what I just mentioned, where you are able to, measure the ability to go through a rough patch in life and come out of it without losing your mind. Now, people, adults, children, youth, young, old, it has become a problem. So people commit suicide anyhow, people killing their partners, murdering their partners because they are suspicious. And so, they can't cope with it, or they caught the person red-handed, they can't forgive. And so they can't face life. Others lose their jobs, they can't face life. Others, adversity quotient. So parents, let's help others, especially our children, people in our homes too. Get to know this. That is where, how do we do it? Practically, it's not everything you give to the award. Let the person learn to be content with what you've been given to him or her. Okay, you bought a phone for him or her. She comes from school and because others are using another, phone, other phones, iPhone, so and so with names. Your child is not content. You can see that. Oh, mommy, if you don't buy, and mommy or daddy, fast, you don't do that. Teach them to be content with what they have. Teach them to be, persevere, don't give up in life. If they have failed, you advise them. That is life. It's also failure is part of what? Life. But it's like parents, some people, they've only, enjoy the sweetness of the cake. And so when something goes wrong small, they have problem. If one is an adult and you realize that the person cannot, cope with life, then psychologists are saying you have a problem. You need to talk to someone. You need to see a psychologist. You need to see a counselor. You need to seek for support as early as possible. And I recommend to you our university counseling section, we have a counselor. You've paid for it. If you have any problem, they are professionals. Walk to their doorstep and then they will assist you. If you have a child and the child growing up cannot accept no, you have it, the child is demanding for it, and you say no, and that child is throwing tantrum the whole day to the extent that I will not eat, I will not do this. If you don't correct it. That's why we even have some adults who are like that. Some husbands and wives, they wanted their wives to do something and their wife didn't do it. They are throwing tantrum. Penny pa, an adult for go food, not talking to, the partner, and some not being content. The husband, okay, I'm using this car. And people are challenging themselves. Oh, my friend's husband bought so and so eight, so and so car, and you bought me this saloon car, and you think you have done the best. People are no longer content. If they don't have it in them, it affects relationship. It affects, in fact, their lives as they move on. So we have a work to do. Let's try and do it. And so what I have shared in African studies, they are going to try like in a simple way, but the psychologists have been able to put it in a way that they call it so and so. So a man, it says that people that have higher emotional quotient and social quotient tend to go further in life than those with high intelligent quotient, IQ. So first class, obetumi adi baba, copy and paste, okay, memorize, and then he scores 100%. But those characters are not there. Those virtues are not there. And so, but those who have the character, that's what we call the character, those EQ, the intelligence, sorry, the emotional quotient, the social quotient, they go further in life than those because they are able to face life. If they are into business and something happens, they don't give up. They try it again, try again. If it doesn't work, try again. They try again, and later you see them, the business has become a boom. It takes those who have those kind of virtues. So it says that people who have the higher emotional quotient, social quotient, they are able to network, speak to others. They are not timid. They are not afraid. They have the confidence to talk to others, find themselves, and then make new friends. They network. Okay, those people tend to go further in life than those with high IQ. They say wabing, oh, first class, but timid. Little thing, he gives up, wants to commit suicide. He will not commit suicide alone. Take along the partner and the children because life is not, going on well. And that is where we come in as people. So most schools capitalize on intelligent quotient. Now we ought to delve into the other areas. And I think GCT, we are doing our part. This course will at least opening our eyes to see. So people's EQ, the EQ represents what? Our character, while the social quotient represents our charisma. Okay, so those who are able to network, it represents our charisma. The emotional quotient represents our character because that's where you exhibit those virtues. Give in to habits that will improve these three cues, especially emotional quotient, social quotient, and adversity quotient. I will stop here and take few questions. Okay, so question time. I saw some hands raised. You can ask your question before I move on. I'm left with, okay, so I have about 4 slides. Elvis. Elvis, let's hear you.
Yeah, okay, Doc. So, when you're talking about good and bad moral behaviors, you made mention of kindness.
Elvis, please, we can't really hear you well.
Elvis, please increase your volume. Okay, so either Elvis will speak out louder, or some of us will also increase the volume of our device so that you can hear him. Please go on.
Yeah, so please, when you were
Good.
So you made mention of kindness as a good moral behavior. So I have a question. So last semester during our exam, something happened in
Yeah, I
my
can't
group,
hear you. Okay, let me
and
also increase the volume.
where la action or practice for whether it's a good or bad. So we are writing a paper, and then I was confused with a particular approach to answer a question. But I knew that that approach was how it was supposed the question was supposed to be answered.
Oh, I can't get it clear. I've increased the volume of my device.
Let me
I don't know if others can hear you clearly.
Madam, we cannot hear. We cannot hear.
So
Okay, so
if it is
Elvis, we can't hear you.
associated
Let's take it from
with
Kobe.
the
Kobe, Elvis, please come again, okay? I couldn't hear you. Well, Kobe,
Yes, dog.
Safite.
Yes, dog.
Okay.
Good afternoon, dog.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, real quick. My house to do it. I just want to clarify something, please. While you touched on the topic ethics of responsibility.
Mm.
Yeah, I want to know. Say you're working with a colleague, all right, and in the office, and um, this is a guy who I don't want to describe him as he's greedy though, but then
Mm.
what he's doing isn't right and doesn't align with some of the policies and the ethics of the company. And the new general manager lets us understand that he wouldn't tolerate any indiscipline or whatsoever. However, now you don't also want to snitch on him or sell out how do you call it, sell him out to management, because once you do that, chances of him being fired it's very high, like 95%, if I'm not exaggerating. In this case, what are you going to do? Are you going to snitch him to management? Because the moment you do that, how do you call it? He's going to be fired.
Okay. So what
So
you need to do is speak to him. Let him know that what is going on, people are becoming aware of it, and you are afraid it will get to management. You are speaking to him as a brother. Okay, so talk to that person in a you need wisdom. Because if it happens that one day management even finds out and you were not even the one who even uh, gave that information, the person probably might think that you were the one who did it. But tell him, Charlie, and then let him know the consequences. Like your behavior, these are the repercussions. These are the effects. So make it clear to him. That's the first step. But you see, like I said, if such things have not been imbibed in people, some people it's like a trait. They only want to do evil. And even talking to them, that's where we take it to another angle. We move from the physical realm to the spiritual realm, and we say that this person, he needs deliverance. Because some people, whatever you do, it's like they always want to do evil. But the best thing you can do to clear your conscience is to also, talk to him as a brother. Thank you. Any other question?
Hello, madam.
Yes, senior.
This sorry, my network was
Uh-huh.
making. Yes, so I wanted to clarify. I wanted you to help me clarify something. So last semester, when we were writing our end of semester exams,
Mm.
and as an issue happened, so I was torn between two approaches to answer a particular question. But I knew that those were the approach you were supposed to use to answer that particular question. Now, there was a friend sitting beside me who, I mean, he knew the correct approach to use. So I asked the invigilator if I told him what was happening to me. So I asked the invigilator if I could ask the friend which particular approach to use. Now, if the invigilator agrees, has he portrayed a good moral behavior of being kind to me? And then if he doesn't, is he being unkind to me, or he's just frowning against examination malpractice?
Exactly. He's running against examination malpractices. If that invigilator, turns out to help you and someone walks in and the person sees it, and we don't normally have only one invigilator. Okay, the other invigilator doesn't know what is going on. The person doesn't know that you actually asked for help. You even ask permission from your invigilator, and that person takes you on. It will affect you because per the examination policy, okay, per the policy regarding examination in the institution, that invigilator will even find himself in trouble. So that one, I don't call it a help. It's not kindness. That's why it says prepare very well and then walk to the exams room and do what you can. That is not help. You may call it help because you have benefited out of that gesture, right? But then it goes against the rules of the examination. And if anything could have happened, they will ask you to fill a form and then you will be brought before the disciplinary committee. Thank you. Desmond.
Thank you.
Desmond.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I think in your slide 5, the third point, that talks about actions of the habits of behavior is considered good if only it promotes humans and social well-being. So I wanted to ask if lying could also be.
Sorry. If what? We didn't
If you
get the
can
if
lie,
clause. If you
yeah,
lie.
if you can lie, yeah, if you can lie to protect someone's uh, human well-being or social well-being.
Lie is lie. It's so
So what
wrong.
of it something
You
is going to
see,
happen and if the consequences is heavy and you decide to lie to protect the person?
you have lied. You shielded evil. That's why if someone does evil and they want to, arrest the person, you say, oh, I'm protecting the person. Let me hide him in my room. Police will come and they'll say, you have condoned to the act. So that one, you and that person will still be in trouble. Thank you. Dennis, last one. Today, I don't want to exceed my time. Cry for someone. Who was that? Madam,
Okay.
the time is.
We have plenty questions. So. Okay, madam.
Yes, Dennis.
Thank you for the opportunity. I was in the same situation like the first person's submission. I was trying to shield someone from his character, like he was doing something bad in the office. And I advised him. He didn't listen. So the second time I saw it, I was going to advise him when the both of us were caught talking. And it was like I was part of the whole thing. Why didn't I report it the first time? So I was given a query. So here I want to ask that
You deserve it,
if
senior. Don't ask anything further. You deserve it. You see, the law, you see, when someone does evil and the police, or wrong and the police wants to arrest the person, you can't say, oh, because I like the person, oh, he's my partner, oh, she's my daughter, I can't allow him to be taken to jail. People must pay for because we know what is right, what is wrong, and the repercussions. So if you think that as for you, you only help people to, you are condoning evil. As for you, your help only comes when people are doing wrong and you want to show them. No, you are in the same soup. You are in the same state with that person, and the law will not take it, easy on you. So that one is like, okay, so let's look at the basis of African moral values. Thank you for your questions. I hope I was able to address them. Basis of African moral values. How did we get to the how did he get the idea that some behaviors are wrong, some behaviors are what right? It is based on our conscience. As human, as people, God has created us, and there's something that we call our instinct, our conscience. So, if you do wrong, there's something in you that tells you you have done wrong. Or if you are about to take that action which is evil, some people, if their conscience are working, then they get the prompt. Oh, don't do it. That is wrong. You have planned to do it. Okay. And then something prompts you, don't do it. Then another voice, that's why people say, oh, I was hearing some voices. Another voice will say, go and do it. That's evil voice. But we know that this is wrong, this is right. So our conscience helps us to know what is wrong and what is right. At a point where we do not pay heed to the promptings of our conscience, okay, and we go ahead to take that action. If your conscience, that person's conscience is still working, is still very active, it comes back to you that you didn't do well at all. You shouldn't have done it. And such a person will start feeling remorseful. Okay, you get that feeling that, oh, I'm sorry. If you are the type you want to go to the other person and say you are sorry, or you tell yourself, I shouldn't have done that. I won't do it again. But if people do not pay heed to their conscience, it gets to a point that they kill their conscience. So you don't get any promptings, or the only thing you only do is wrong. It means you've killed that conscience that tells you to do what is right. And so Africans believe that we have conscience, every normal human being, except the one, sorry, who has a disease and the person is mad. Other than that, your conscience. So it was based on their conscience, because individuals' conscience will tell them. That's why we even hear it in our days. If someone does something, you hear in the news that a 60-year-old man has raped or has slept with a 5-year-old girl. And people are like, oh, does he have a conscience? Or people say, oh, he doesn't have a conscience. It means that it was based on our conscience. It was also based on our experiences. Our experiences with as shared in what? Proverbs, folk tales. So through the experiences they have you know, heard in the proverbs, in the folk tales or storytelling, they learn to know what is right and what is wrong. For instance, they will share story. That's why I said that in inculcating virtues in people, we do it at the right stage. Children are guarded by the fireside, an elderly person, because we believe that they have the wisdom, they have life experience to also share. And so the stories that they have heard, they will use that. It can be other people's stories or the folktale keke, where we have animals playing roles, sorry, as characters, and then they tell the children the story. The idea is that they want to analyze, they want to critique those characters who played role in the story. Oh, my time is up. I would have shared a very simple story. And then, okay, let me share it quickly. So if we want to imbibe certain virtues in children, like I said, you don't only say it, oh, be polite, or be this, but you use experiences. You give them tasks and then you correct them as they do it. So there's a story. There was a village called Fanchnebra, and in that village were Kweku Anansi, as we normally use, a character we normally use when we share story. Spider, those who do not know Kweku Anansi, is Spider, okay? So in every story, that Spider or Kweku Anansi will always play role as someone who is very clever and very smart. So in this story, Kweku Anansi and the children and other village folks were living in a certain village, and it happened that there was scarcity of food and water. There was a very severe famine. Others started giving up, not searching for food, not searching for water, and others started dying. Others contracted certain ailments. But Kweku Anansi, being wise, told himself that, as for me, Kweku Anansi, the wise man in the entire world, I will not sit here and die out of hunger or thirst. I will move and search for food. So he did. He journeyed till he got to a place where he saw a very tall, big, giant, tree, and it was very fruitful. But Anansi saw two birds on top of that tree, and then they were eating fruits, enjoying themselves. Anansi I greeted them, and he behaved as if he was about to die. I greet you, my friends. And they responded. Then Nancy told them his story. I'm coming from a village called so and so, and there's scarcity of food. In fact, there's severe famine. My people are dying. But you know me, Nancy, I'm very wise to die this early. That's why I've journeyed and I'm here. Can you help me? Then they said yes, because they were kind and they were generous. They decided to help Anansi. But Anansi had no feathers to, flew up there to get the food. Or so the birds were kind enough. They came down. One of them gave his feathers to Anansi. Anansi flew up there, started eating. And then he told them, when he has ate to his satisfaction, he told them, hey, you birds, listen, I have forgotten. This tree was given to me as an inheritance from my great grand uncle. How could I have forgotten? It is my property. It is my inheritance. I've forgotten and people are dying. Henceforth, I forbid you from coming to eat from this fruit, from this plant. But the birds were sober, they were peaceful, and they said, okay, if it happens to be your inheritance and today you've got to know about it, that's fine. We are leaving, but can we have our feathers? And as I said, I started laughing. Ask them to come up there. Me, the owner, you came here to eat from this fruit. I've not charged you for any money, and you are asking me to come down and give you your feathers. Come and take it at once. So the other with the feathers flew up there, took his feathers, and then they left in peace. Anansi started laughing, bragging. This is Anansi. Who is clever than me? The entire world, the whole wide world, I am the cleverest. In fact, I am the brilliant and the intelligent person on this earth God has created. Look at them. I've been able to trick them, and these fools have accepted it. These lies. Look at them. They've gone. And now I have everything for myself. After he finished bragging, he realized that hunger is different from thirst, right? So now he needed water to drink. And Anansi realized that he needed to come down from that giant tree to fetch water because it happens to be a running river. He has no feathers. What was he going to do? He thought he was still clever, intelligent. So he threw himself and landed, we call it by force landing, and he died. He never got the opportunity to even drink the water. So when such a simple, short story has been told, then they will ask the children, who are the characters? This is what we call the analytical thing, right? The course that you are taking, critical, analytical, something, something. So at that stage, that's why we say charity, wisdom is acquired from the home, because at that point, you are helping the child to critique and to analyze issue. But these children are following, or they'll be following the storyteller keenly. And so once they ask the question, so who are the characters? Oh, Anansi is one of the characters. The village folks, the birds, they are the key characters. What have you learned from them? Oh, the village folks, they didn't persevere. And so they died. There was a trouble, there was a problem, there was a challenge. Instead of them not to give up early, they gave up early and then they died. Children, is it good to give up in life when you face life challenges? They will say, no, you need to persevere, because Anansi did that. He persevered, at least he survived for some time. What are lessons are you learning from the character of Anansi? Anansi is a character. Okay, so the good thing about Anansi was he was he had a perseverance spirit. Okay, he didn't give up. That is good. So children, you don't give up in life, because in this life, it is not all about what? The sweetness and all the good things. Sometimes you face life challenges. When you face life challenge, you don't give up. You move on. You push hard. You try it. But, this about Anansi. Anansi was selfish. Anansi was greedy. Anansi was a liar. Do we have such people in our society? Okay, so because they are kids, they haven't experienced people's life. So the teller will tell them that, yes, we have some people like that. They are sometimes in our workplaces where they sneak and they do all sorts of things. They take bribes, they steal from the company, and these people, they brag. When they have done that, they don't live quiet life. They go and buy car. And if you are sitting somewhere and you are assessing that person's life, we all earn the same salary. This person is not doing any other side business per your observation or interrogation. He's not doing anything. How come he's changing cars? The life that the person is leading doesn't tally at all with the earnings that he gets. And these people, they brag and they think they are smart, because when they've achieved their aim using those kind of evil deeds, they think they've landed. They want people, when they go to church, they want to offer big amount of money, huge amount of money for people to clap for them. And they are getting positions and they everywhere they are. Such are the people who are cunning, who are crafty, who are greedy, who are thieves, liars, selfish people. But most of them don't, live long to enjoy their whatever they have acquired. Those who you see them to be living long, like I said, they have been forbidden. Don't eat A, don't eat B, don't eat that. Others, they go early and they say, hey, gone too soon. And people who were keenly observing them will say that no wonder the kind of life or the behavior this guy was in, no wonder he has died early. We see people of that sort. They think they are cunning. So they will teach children, don't do that so that you live long. Others will live long and then they will contract, either they have stroke, they have all kinds of ailments, and the money that they have acquired, they use it to cure the ailment and go that. Or they even leave curses on their children, on their children's heads, a cursed family. Mysteriously, the child will die. Mysteriously, the children are into all sort of, behaviors, into drugs, into different, and money cannot correct it. Some of these things are curses. Because one's behavior affected other people's behavior to the extent that someone, lost their life because of someone's behavior somewhere through lies and, stealing and so on and so forth. So they will caution the children. And then what about the birds? Oh, good thing about the birds, they were generous, they were kind. What about bad behavior? They shouldn't have portrayed. They gave up early. They only listened to lies. They were not people who want to fight for. There are some people like that. People will use lies to take what belongs to them. For instance, it is a person's land. Someone will use dubious means and then come and show documents, another document, this is my property. And so, maybe I'm in our society, if you hear me impairment to the extent, it depends. Sometimes it's very good to just walk away, walk out of that problem, and you'll be free. It's not every issue that you want to drag it, but some of them too. Oh yes, sir. People will take you for granted. They'll be taking what. So genuinely, if it belongs to you. But for me, as for the best, probably it was genuinely their thing. It wasn't their property. So the best thing for them was to just walk out of trouble. When you have used these, then the people you have shared the story, they have experience. They have acquired these experiences from where? Folktales, stories, myth. They will tell you it's the myth. Don't do this. If you do that, or they use proverbs. Charity begins at home. A good name is better than riches, and so on and so forth. So from those kind of, elements, people got to know about morals, how to lead good moral life. Then it was also based on their social and human relationship. If you socialize with people and you offend someone, the person will let you know in that time, if you offend someone, it's not like I've penned it down. I'm waiting for a time to give it back to you. We can't do that. I was reading the Bible and I came across a verse that says that if someone offends you, the best thing is to walk to the person, talk to the person one on one. If he admits or she admits, you have your brother. If he doesn't or she doesn't admit, ask a second person to come in. So that's where you go and report to another person, and then the other person will talk to the person for you. If he admits his mistake and he apologizes, you have your brother. If he doesn't, then he says, see him as what? A pagan. Leave him. It means that person, nothing can change him. Don't keep that bitterness. Just forgive the person, because at the end of the day, there are some people who will only offend and they are like that. They will not apologize. They don't care. They are careless. And they will leave you in a state where you are carrying a load, unforgiveness. Once you even hear the person's name, then your heart starts beating. But if you are not careful, you even get BP. Don't let someone give you BP. And the person will go and sleep and will be snoring. as if nothing is at stake, nothing has happened. That's why it is good to forgive. Because sometimes the one who doesn't forgive, you will be in trouble. The one who has offended you will be sleepy and snoring and he has forgotten about it. So we can't allow people to take our joy, our peace from us. We should try as much as possible to forgive. Because in our human relationship, by all means, we offend one another. And so for them, when you offend, then you let the other person know that, you've offended me. If the person is human being, because we have some people, they work as humans, but they have animal instinct in them. Once you come across such people, you know their state. You know that we on an amhor as human, but he's not. So you don't allow yourself to, for such a person to take your joy, your peace from you. You just forgive and then try to be, nice with the person and then you go your way. There are others you can't ignore them for good, especially if the person is your partner. You only have to find a way. But through their relationship, social relationship, socialization, they also got to know that this is evil because if you do it, the entire society will, give it back to you. They will tell you, they will frown on it, they will say it is wrong. And so through that, people, get to know that this is wrong, this is right. Then it's also based on their traditional religion. Traditional religion constitute part of the sanctions that are in place in matters of moral practice. Okay, so because they believe in God and they also believe so this one will move me to this slide. Africans believe we already knew God. Let me tell you, it wasn't the missionaries who came to introduce God to us. Africans already knew their God before Christianity and any other religion surfaced on our part of the world. They knew God because earlier the names they give to God, they give to their children, Senya, Nyameche, they pray and then they call God's name, Ochedi and Ponkwame, the Almighty God. They already knew God, they know God, and they make sure they put God in the right position in every situation. But the religion here is only giving us a brief idea about African religion. They also believe in other gods, smaller gods. They believe that God has created other smaller gods to be in charge of the dealings of mankind because God is almighty. He's up there, but he has given smaller gods who are to also take charge of our behavior. So if you do wrong, God has given them that authority to punish you. Aside that, they also believe in ancestors. They believe that people who have led an upright life, they brought forth children. They believe that if one lives an upright life, you receive blessings automatically. That's their idea. So you are able to bring forth children, even if you are aged 60 years, 90 years, still you can bring forth because you are fruitful. They believe that such a person, has the charisma, the character, and individuals in the society, mentions the name of the person. Oh, this person is a good man. Even when he is dead, the person has left a good name and legacy. Such people, African believe that their spirit lives with them because they are good and they are also, careful to watch over them. And then they associate their belief in these gods, they associate it to what? Relate it to moral issues. That if you offend, then the gods can punish you. God, the creator, they believe one day will come and then judge mankind. Not only that, once the person still lives, he is going to receive punishment for his wrongdoings from the smaller gods because for them, they don't waste time. They are like policemen. God has given them the mandate to watch over mankind. So if you do what is right, then Papa, they will they bless you. But if you go wrong, they will punish you. The same as ancestors. They have led an upright life. And so they expect people or individuals to also do same. Offenders of moral values will be punished. You will either be met with misfortune, barrenness, illness, death, and so on and so forth. But if you do what is right, they believe that you receive blessings plentiful of harvest, good health, word of harm. That's why if people are involved in accident and they die in African society, they will want to consult and find out because they believe that if you have that evil, that's where you will die. But to come to this modern age, we get to know that it is not about people's wrongdoing. Sometimes it's the brake failure or the car has a problem or the negligence of the driver or the poor roads. A lot of factors, play role into why people can die mysteriously. But in their days, they thought that to die in a mysterious way or for a misfortune to happen to people is as a result of their wrongdoings. So yes, their belief in God and other smaller gods, play massive role when they want to discuss morals. To the extent that, they say that, oh, don't do this, especially when they want to emphasize on a behavior that will bring shame or it will bring serious threat to the entire society or even you individual. Okay, then they will tag it as a taboo. Once they say it's a taboo, it means it's associated or related with a particular god, a particular deity. So the offender will either has to be taken to that deity for them to do all sorts of things. They say don't do A, it is a taboo. You don't go near to it. And of course, if you dare, you will, bear the consequences. So yes, it has moral trend today. In modern times, human beings seem to have compromised the idea of wrong and right. Okay, so when we want to even shield people because they are doing wrong, we call it right because we call it the other way. We see it as kindness. That one is totally wrong. So in our days, we have compromised it. When people are doing wrong, then we rather hail them instead of people. So those who want to do right, they are few in the system and they are giving names. So they find themselves in a particular, situation that if care is not taken, then they will also tend to do wrong. Unlike in time past, customs and traditional ways of life were sanctioned by the gods and not the law of enforcement agencies, because now we have law enforcement agencies. But in those days, if you wrong there are certain things, they will castrate you, they will banish you from the society. Traditional and custom rules or principles will take its course. But in our time, because of law enforcement and other beliefs and so on and so, people are doing their own thing. But even in our days, if people will not want to take you to, they will want to allow law enforcement agencies to take its course. Some people can curse you. They can even say, "Me bold, yeah." And when it comes to that, you see people are also still scared because in fact, indeed, if you are a victim, you have done wrong, that person wrong so much that ah, sometimes the person has lost his job or something. There are some people who will say that me, I'll not take it to court or I will not take it or allow law enforcement agencies to take it because I will deal with this person myself. Some people are so have that. They can curse you and then you are there and you have no kidney, but the stomach is protruding. Then, as religious people as we are, we want to do consultation, and then they will tell you, you disappointed a lady, and that lady cursed you because that lady helped you, or that gentleman helped you, and you disappointed him terribly, and he has cursed you. That's why you are mercy. God have mercy. So, people have, while those who violate traditional norms are punished with illness atrocities in our days, people are rather taken to law court and so, and they can pay bribes and then still have their way, and the offender will still be, you know, the offender will still be living. Hey, Kweku upon Christian, please. Okay, so how do we maintain basic moral values? Charity begins at home. Families, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, nephews, let's help one another. Let's see it as an ethic of responsibility and do our part. peer groups. So peer groups, educationals, and don't help someone when it is against the principles or the policy of the university because you are or against the principle of the company. Wrong is wrong. Helping the person doesn't mean that you are showing kindness. You are even condoning evil. Educational institutions, we have our policies. We ought to, people ought to, obey these things. But educational institutions should really have a second look at their curricula and then enforce codes of conduct. Some subjects ought to be brought to the doorsteps of the students. Okay, morals and religious education. We need to check on it. And then if we are teaching, we shouldn't also only concentrate on building people's knowledge and skills, but we should also look at the other aspect, morals, ethics, and so on and so forth. Because even in IT, if you want to develop an app, there are some rules, and if you don't go according to the rules, you will not get the end results. Government has law enforcement agencies, but what we can say, they should enact and enforce it. So if you are in any of the law enforcement agencies, please do your best. Don't be taking bribe. Do what is right, what is needful. Religious institutions, okay, here, because we started teaching about prosperity and so Shenkom prophecies that are neither here nor there. People are still coming to church, but we don't see any change, any impact, positive impact. It is our time, religious leaders, teachers, Sunday school teachers, whoever, whenever you get a platform to teach, to preach, do the needful. Teaching values of compassion, integrity, and all the other values should be the headline. And then at the workplace, employers as well as peers should model and enforce ethical practices. What will be the benefits? It will promote social cohesion, peaceful coexistence. It will shape our lives. We will be able to get support when we need it. These are straightforward. Thank you very much. I don't want to. I see the time. So, end of show. Kindly visit the learning management platform. You have your African Studies manual. 2 weeks today, you'll be taking your mid-sim online. So if you haven't started, please, 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 do that as early as possible. Thank you very much. 2 minutes for me to leave. Pay my time. Any question? Or 1 minute? Are we still together or you've left me a long time?
Madam, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We are with you.
I'm tired.
Maybe some have left me long time watching their match, others cooking, doing their whole thing, but I see
Doc, we are
them here.
here. Doc,
Liverpool, I'm Tottenham 0.
we are
All
here
right.
with you.
Okay, so have we understood? Are we okay? Is it
Yeah.
fine?
Very
Thank
well.
you.
Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
so all right, thank you very much. Have a fruitful week. Bye-bye.
You too, Doc.
Bye.
Bye.